Hello everyone. So this is our fourth session for mechanics of material. If you remember previous semester or previous session, we were discussing Macaulay's method, which is the extension for double integration method. It is used to solve the problems which are subjected to 2-point loads or multiple loads. We use the Macaulay's method. Today's class will be discussing the slope and deflection for a cantilever beam subjected to partial UDL. Slope and deflection of a cantilever beam subjected to partial uniformly distributed load. So what does the meaning of partial load is? Suppose you have a cantilever beam like this, which is of span L, and you have a uniformly distributed load which W kilonewton per meter, whose length is less than equal to the length of whose length is less than the length of beam. Suppose this is L1. So this L1 is less than L. So this is the condition in which the UDL is shorter than the span of the beam, or you have a partially loaded spans. So we'll try to calculate the slope and deflection for a cantilever beam subjected to UDL. So consider a problem. A cantilever beam of span 3 meters is subjected to a uniformly distributed load of length 2 meters and intensity 10 kilonewton per meter, starting from the fixed end. So determine slope and deflection at first one free end, and second is 1 meter from the 1 meter from the free end. So you are given a problem like this. You have a cantilever beam of span 3 meters. So this is a beam like this of span 3 meters. It is subjected to a UDL of length 2 meters, which is shorter than the span. The intensity given is 10 kilonewton per meter, and the UDL is starting from the fixed end. So you are asked to calculate the slope and deflection at the free end and at 1 meter from the free end. So let this be A and this is your B. Draw the figure neatly here. You have a UDL like this. Of length 2 meters, this is 1 meter, this is 10 kilonewton per meter. Let this be A, this is B. Now solution. Remember the governing equation we have, it is EI d square y by dx square is equal to mx. Alright, so you need to consider one section. and calculate the value of mx, substitute in the governing equation, integrate this equation twice. So see the problem here. You need to consider one section here. So this problem can be solved by using double integration method also, because there is no need of two sections. Okay, so you require only one section here. So I'm considering a section at a distance of x from C such that it is also intersecting the UDL. Why? Because if I take a section beyond the UDL, there will not be any load on the right hand side of the section. So the UDL should also in the section should also intersect the UDL, and it is at a distance of x from the free end. Now let this point be C. This is your point C. Now I'll write the mx equation here. What is the mx equation? First, see what is the length of UDL beyond your section. The length of UDL beyond section is x minus 1. Alright, now moment equation will be 10 into x minus 1 into x minus 1 by 2. Okay, if you convert this load into a point load, it will be, the intensity will be 10 into x minus 1, and it will be acting at half of the length of UDL beyond section. So it is x minus 1 by 2, and this should be negative because it is hogging moment. So minus 10 into x minus 1 square by 2, which is equal to minus 5 into x minus 1 whole square. This is the mx equation to be substituted in the governing equation. Now substituting in the governing equation, it will become ei d square y by dx square is equal to minus 5 into x minus 1 whole square. Alright, so next step is you need to integrating twice. This will become ei dy by dx is equal to minus 5 into x minus 1 whole cube by 3 plus c1. So again, if you see, the integration should be done. X minus 1 integration should be x minus 1 whole cube by x by 3, and no need of taking any inner derivatives, and also need not open the brackets and solve the problem. Alright, so it will be x minus 1 whole cube by 3. Similarly, ei y is equal to minus 5 into x minus 1 whole power 4 by 12 plus c1x plus c2. So this is the second integration. Now similar procedure, you need to calculate what is c1 and c2, substitute those in these equations, and these equations are now let this be A, this is equation A, this is equation B. Okay, now using the boundary conditions, what all boundary conditions we have for a cantilever beam like this, subjected to UDL, the deflection profile will be like this, such that you have maximum slope and maximum deflection at the free end, and zero slope and zero deflection at the fixed end. So at A, now section is considered from free end, which is x meters from the free end. So at A means x will be equal to L. You have dy by dx is equal to theta is equal to 0. So this is the first boundary condition I'm using. It is 0 is equal to, this is to be substituted in equation A, minus 5 into, or L is equal to length of beam, which is 3 meters, minus 5 into 3 minus 1 whole cube by 3 plus C1, or this will become minus 5 minus 13.33 plus C1, or C1 is equal to 13.33, positive 1. Alright, now next is we need to calculate also C2. C2 is to be computed by using the second boundary condition at again again x is equal to 3 meters. Again you have deflection 0, which is y is equal to 0. This is to be substituted in the equation B. So substituting equation B, 0 is equal to minus 5 into 3 minus 1 whole power 4 by 4 plus 13.33 into 3 plus C2, or this will be 2 power 4 into 5 divided by 4 is 20. 20 minus this is minus 20 plus 39.99 plus C2, or C2 is equal to minus 19.99. Just remember, in the case of cantilever beams, generally we have C2 will be negative and C1 will be positive. This is a general condition for a cantilever beam. Next is we'll substitute back in the equation number 1 and equation A and B to write the complete equation now. So EI dy by dx is equal to minus 5 into x minus 1 whole cube by 3 plus C1. C1 is 13.33 and EI y will be minus 5 into x minus 1 whole power 4 by 12 plus 13.33x minus 19.99. Now this is your equation number 1 and equation number 2. Now what is asked in the problem? You need to calculate slope and deflection at free end. As I told you before, the x is measured from the free end. So if I want to calculate the slope and deflection at the free end, x will be 0. A and B, this is 10 kilonewton per meter, 2 meter and 1 meter. So x being measured from the free end, at the free end x will be 0. So substitute in equation number 1 to calculate the slope, which is EI dy by dx is equal to minus 5 into 0 minus 1 whole cube by 3 plus 13.33. So this should be neglected. Why? Because the term inside the bracket is becoming negative, so this has to be neglected. Or ei dy by dx is equal to ei theta is equal to 13.33, or theta is equal to 13.33 by ei. This is the slope at the free end. Similarly, deflection at free end, again x equal to 0, ei is equal to minus 5 into 0 minus 1 whole power 4 by 12 plus 13.33 into x minus 19.99. This is to be neglected. Why? Because the term inside the bracket is becoming negative, and this is multiplied by x, so it is multiplied by 0. This is equal to ei is equal to minus 19.99, or y is equal to minus 19.99 by ei. Now this is your slope and deflection at the free end. Similarly, you can calculate what is the slope and deflection at a distance 1 meter from the free end. So suppose you are given calculate slope and deflection at 2 meters from the fixed end, it is nothing but equal to 1 meter from the free end. Always remember to measure the value of x from the free end or from the right end. Any beam you measure from the right end of the beam. Alright, so now next is B bit, which is slope and deflection at 1 meter from free end. So x is directly given to you as 1 meter. This is nothing but 2 meters from the fixed end, also 2 meters from the fixed end or 1 meter from the free end, both means the same. Now substitute 1 in the equations 1 and 2. So ei or ei dy by dx is equal to minus 5 into 1 minus 1 whole cube by 3 plus 13.33. So theta is equal to dy by dx is equal to 13.33 by ei, and ei is equal to minus 5 into 1 minus 1 whole power 4 by 12 plus 13.33 into 1 minus 19.99. So this is equal to 19.99 minus 13.33. This is 6.66 with a negative sign, or y is equal to 6.66 by ei. So this is the deflection at 1 meters from the free end. So if you see, slope will not change, whereas the deflection will change. Now similarly, we'll see another problem. We have same question: calculate the slope and deflection at free end for a cantilever beam shown in figure. Now here in this case, you are given a UDL of 10 kilonewton per meter. This is 1 meter, this is 2 meter. Alright, so all the conditions will be changed in this case. So how to solve this problem? So please carefully listen the problem, and also maintain the notes of my subject. The notes will be checked whenever the college reopens. Alright, so this problem is somewhat different from the previous problem. Again, you have the governing equation, which is ei d square y by dx square is equal to mx. Again you are calculating the slope and deflection at free end. Okay, so uh, this is the condition given. Now to solve this problem, see here what is to be done. First, when we take section to calculate the moment equation, let this be your section 1 at a distance of x from the free end. Now what will happen if I move this section up to point C? Okay, first we'll write the equation for moment. What is the equation for moment? Is 10 into x square by 2 with a negative sign. Load beyond the UDL is load beyond the section is of 10 kilonewton per meter, and the length of UDL is x, so it will be minus 10 into x square by 2. Alright, so this is the moment. Now if I move this section up to point C, this equation is valid. But if I move this section beyond point C, if I go beyond this point C, which is at a distance of x from the C, the length of UDL is 2 meters, which is finished before the point C. Alright, so this equation is not valid now. Okay, so to solve this problem, you need to take a condition here. This is the condition to be taken. Okay. So what is to be done in this case is, I'll draw a bigger figure for you to understand. See here, you have a UDL of 10 kilonewton per meter, 2 meter and 1 meter is given to you. So what is to be done? You assume a similar UDL on the remaining 1 meter portion, and you subtract another UDL of same intensity with an opposite sign. Suppose these UDLs are acting vertically downward, the red one will be acting vertically upward. Okay, now just check what will happen. Suppose I consider a section 1 at a distance of x from the C, x from the free end. Okay, this is my point C, beyond which I was not having any UDL, but I have considered a UDL and I have subtracted the same UDL of same intensity. This is nothing but adding and subtracting the UDL in the remaining portion. This is to be done when you have a UDL shorter than span, and when it is starting from the free end and it is ending before the fixed end. Suppose in the previous case, if you see, the UDL was starting from the fixed end, and it has ended before the free end. Now if I consider a section 1 anywhere, suppose the section 1 is here, the same equation is to be continued. This will remain x, it will be x minus 1 always. Okay, so conditions will change in this case, the second case. So UDL is shorter than the span and it is ending before the fixed support. So first we'll add a UDL in the remaining span of same intensity, and we'll subtract a UDL of same intensity. Okay, now I'll write the equation for momentum. What is the equation for moment I have is mx is equal to, see here section 1 is at a distance of x from the free end B. This is your free end B. Okay, mx is equal to minus 10 into x square by 2. Minus 10 into x square by 2 is the moment of the UDL. Now this equation is valid up to the point A, but you also have one more UDL which is acting vertically upward. So I need to take one more section. Here, again at a distance of free end, because we have two loads here. I require two sections. So second section is considered here, and I apply a partition on this side. It will be, what is the length of UDL beyond your section? This is the length, which is x minus 2. Alright, it is x minus 2. This is the UDL you have. So the moment of this UDL will be 10 into x minus 2 whole square by 2. 10 into x minus 2 whole square by 2. See the sign here, it should be positive. Why? Because it is acting vertically upward, and this will be a type of sagging moment like this. Because of the downward forces in case of cantilever beam, because of vertically downward forces, you have hogging moment. Because of vertically upward forces, you have sagging moment. So now what is the final equation of mx here? Minus 5x square partition plus 5 into x minus 2 whole square. So I'll repeat the equation for a moment, because it is very important. If you write the correct equation of mx, then only you will end up with the correct answers. Otherwise, the equation of mx is wrong, the complete problem will be wrong. Okay, so what we are doing in this case is, we don't have a UDL in span AC, we have a UDL in span BC. So what we have considered, suppose if we take a section 1 at a distance of x from C, see this figure, what is the moment of UDL you have? 10x square by 2 is the moment of UDL. If I move this section up to point C, the moment will not change. But if I move this section beyond point C, when you don't have any load, the moment of this UDL will be changed. So in this case, what is to be done is, you need to add and subtract a UDL in the span AC. So what I'm doing, in the span AC, I'm continuing the same UDL of intensity 10 kilonewton per meter, and the red one, which is I'm subtracting the same UDL, so that the net effect is same. Okay, so this is 10 kilonewton positive, vertically upward force, and what is in the black will be vertically downward. Now writing the moment equation, considering section 1, it is at a distance of x from the point B, the equation will be minus 10x square by 2. Now if I move this section beyond point C also, again you have a vertically downward UDL. The equation will not change. But also you have a red UDL, for which you require one more section. So consider section 2 to calculate the moment of that UDL, the red one. So the moment of UDL, which is vertically upward, is 10 into x minus 2 whole square by 2. See what is the length of UDL you have beyond section, it is x minus 2. Okay, so 10 into x minus 2 whole square by 2. Now the equation will be reduced to mx equal to minus 5x square and plus 5 into x minus 2 whole square. You have a partition there. Now this is to be substituted back in governing equation. It will become EI d square y by dx square is equal to minus 5x square plus 5 into x minus 2 whole square. Integrating twice, this will become EI dy by dx is equal to minus 5x cube by 3 partition 5 into x minus 2 whole cube by 3 plus c1, and EIy is equal to minus 5 into x power 4 by 12 partition 5 into x minus 2 whole power 4 by 12 plus c1x plus c2. Okay, now using the boundary conditions, what all boundary conditions we have at A. So if you see, this is the figure, UDL of 2 meters, 1 meter you don't have any UDL. Deflection profile will be like this, such that you have maximum deflection and slope at the fixed at the free end, and zero slope and zero deflection at the fixed end. So at A, this is A, this is B. At A, x is equal to 3 meters. X is measured from the free end. So x is equal to 3 meters. What you have is dy by dx is equal to 0. So this is equation A and equation B. Substitute the first boundary condition in equation A. 0 is equal to minus 5 into 3 cube by 3 plus 5 into 3 minus 2 whole cube by 3 plus c1. This is equal to minus 5 into 9 is minus 45 plus, now 3 minus 2 is a positive number, so this is to be considered now. This should not be neglected. So this is 5 into 3 minus 2 is 1, or 1 cube is 1. So 5 by 3 is 1.67 plus C1, or C1 is equal to 43.33. This is your C1. Now using the second boundary condition, this is the first boundary condition. Second boundary condition, at A again x is equal to 3 meters, you have y is 0. Substitute this in equation 2, second equation, or equation B. 0 is equal to, this is 5 into 2 power 4 by 12 plus 5 into 3 minus 2 whole power 4 by 12 plus 43.33 into 3 plus C2, or simplifying this one, 5 into 16 by 12 is minus 6.67 plus 0.416 plus 129.99 plus C2. So 129.99. or C2 is equal to minus 123.73. So substitute this C1 and C2 back in equation A and B. So you have EI dy by dx is equal to minus 5x cube by 3 plus 5 into x minus 2 whole cube by 3 plus 43.33. Similarly, EIY will be minus 5 into x power 4 by 12 plus 5 into x minus 2 whole power 4 by 12 plus 43.33x minus 123.73. Okay, so this is now equations, these are the final equations now. This is 1 and this is 2. So what is asked? Slope and deflection at free end is asked. So at the free end x will be 0. So substitute x is equal to 0 in equation number 1. Ei dy by dx is equal to first term will be 0 plus 0 minus 2, it is negative again. So whenever it is negative, it is to be neglected. 0 plus 43.33 or theta is equal to 43.33 by ei. This is the slope. Again, going to the deflection, eiy is equal to 0 plus 0 plus 0 minus 123.73, or maximum deflection will be minus 123.73 by ei. So this is the maximum slope and deflection at the free end. So we'll just revise what we have studied today. We have studied two cases, problems of two cases which are partially loaded spans. In the first case, the UDL was starting from the fixed end and it was ending before the free end. So this was the first case. Alright, so a cantilever beam of span 3 meters subjected to UDL 2 meters of intensity 10 kN per meter starting from the fixed end, and determine the slope and deflection at free end and 1 meter from the free end. So this is ei d square y by dx square is equal to mx. This is the governing equation. We'll write the equation of mx. It is 10 into length of UDL beyond your section is x minus 1 into x minus 1 by 2. So final equation will be 5 into x minus 1 whole square. Integrating twice and substituting the boundary conditions, you will get C1 and C2. Using this C1 and C2 back in equation number 1, equation number 1 and 2, you will get what is the final equation. Now slope at free end means you want deflection at slope and deflection at the free end means x will be 0. So dei d square by ei dy by dx, substituting 0 here, theta will be 13.33 by ei and y is minus 19.99 by ei. Now next is slope and deflection at 1 meters from the free end. So x is equal to 1 meter, or which is 2 meters from the fixed end. X is measured from the free end always. So x is 1 meter. Substituting in the equation numbers 1 and 2, you will get what is the slope and deflection. Now second case which we have studied today is a problem with a partially loaded span whose UDL is starting from the free end but it is ending before the fixed end. So in this case, you need to add and subtract a UDL of same intensity in the portion where you don't have any load. So we don't have any load in the span AC. You need to add a UDL of 10 kN per meter of same length of AC and subtract the same UDL such that the net effect is 0. The net effect will be balanced. So I am adding a UDL in span AC of 10 kN per meter and subtracting the red one, which is the subtracting UDL. It is in opposite sign. So if this 10 kN per meter is vertically downward, the red one will be vertically upward. So mx equation will be minus 10 into x square by 2 plus 10 into x minus 2 whole square by 2. This plus 10 into x minus 2 whole square by 2 is the moment of UDL, which is in red one, and it is vertically upward. So vertically upward means it is a sagging moment, so it should be positive. So mx equation minus 5x square and plus 5 into x minus 2 whole square. Integrating twice, you will get two integration constants C1, C2. Applying same boundary conditions, you will get what is the value of C1 and C2. Substituting back in equation A and B, and now these are your final equations 1 and 2, ei dy by dx and eiy. Slope and deflection at the free end is computed. So that's all for today's class.